Hey there, Duke fans. Welcome to episode 485 of the Duke Basketball Report podcast. This is going to be a quick one. I promise we're going to have an in-depth, much more detail, all our analysis, the good, the bad, the headlines, all that other jazz on the Carolina game tomorrow. We want to get this quick one out because Donald Wine just walked out of Cameron Indoor Stadium. Samuel Klein is joining me as well. I'm Jason Evans, and we're going to do a quick, fast reaction to a big victory by the Blue Devils over the UNC Tar Heels. The final score, Duke 63, UNC 57. First thing I'm doing is I'm going to Donald, who was at the game in some primo seats. Amazing stuff. Donald, tell me, give it to me, man. What was it like?
Man, it was amazing. The crowd was electric. Everyone was on point, and it was one of the better games defensively, I thought, that Duke did all season. But I mean, look, at the end of the game, I'm just gonna put it to you like this: jet engine noise. It was ear splitting. I wish I could properly describe that, but it was just absolutely amazing to be inside the building. See, the fans out here all vouch for me. So,
and Derek Lively. I mean, oh my God, he has one of the craziest lines I've ever seen in one of these Duke games. He goes for 4 points, 8 block shots, and 14 rebounds.
Was it 8
and 14? 8 block shots. Donald, you didn't hear. You weren't listening to the broadcast. They pointed out he set a record. This is the most block shots by a Duke player in the Duke Carolina game in history. He was unbelievable in this game.
Yes. And I'm pointing out to my friends who were with me, like, we were talking about Derek Lively, and I was like, he has 12 boards right now. And it's just like, I'm not even worried about that or commending him on that. It's the defense that he had on Armando Bacot at several instances during the game, including those block shots, that really made the difference in his game.
Hey, Sam Klein here. Great to be with you.
Hi, Sam.
Donald, Jason, what's up? Hi, I'm also here, and I just have to say, I have so many headlines that we've gotten from the listeners, and I had made one up, and I thought it was clever, and it's not. Can I just throw a few at you?
Give us a couple, yeah. And we're gonna do a more complete recap tomorrow.
No. I'm aware. I was gonna go with Cameron Comes Alively.
That's nice.
But the first one that came in was from listener Michael Amir. Went with "He's lively." That's great. I loved. Paul Downing also sent us "Duke Comes Alively," so he almost had the exact same one. That mine. I think Cameron sounds more like Frampton, so I think I get the. Yeah. I think I get the half point for. All right, I'm done with the headlines. Donald, you were saying how amazing it was to be in the building. I felt at home that the noise was pretty intense, and down the stretch, especially when Jeremy Roach was, feeling his powers again, you could really feel that the foundations were shaking.
Oh yeah, I mean, inside, like, especially, you hear that, you feel that energy, like, on, like, when you're walking through campus and everything. But it was funny. We got here and we walked up, like, man, it feels like we're late, but we're an hour early for the game because nobody was in Kville. Everyone was already inside. Everyone was already lit. And I think that energy carried throughout the game. So shout out to everybody who was here, because the Cameron Crazies were amazing tonight. And as things happened, if we ran into a little scoring lull, the energy picked up even more. It's exactly vintage Cameron in the sense that the noise was there from start to finish. And even before the game, everyone was ready to go for this one.
The game was played at a pace such that every possession felt so important. This was, it really felt like the postseason in the way that it was like, every Carolina miss down the stretch there was like a huge sigh of relief for Duke.
Because neither team ever had a big lead. I mean, like, I think Duke stretched it out to 6 points at one point. Carolina may have had like a 6-point lead early in the first half.
The 6-point margin for Duke at the end might be the biggest that they had in the game, and it was just like, end of game free throws.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think UNC had like a 7-point lead, like, early in the first half, like, under 12 timeout. But again, like you said, like, it felt like every possession meant the difference in the game, because every possession was highly contested. There's very few, open shots. We'll talk about some of them tomorrow, all the details, but a lot of these, every single point was challenged, it felt like. And I think this was one of the great games in the rivalry, right? Like this was one of the games where you were on pins and needles the entire game. Nobody really gave an inch, and there was details at the end that made the difference.
So there are two things I wanted to comment on really quickly, and we'll go into more in depth on these later on. How incredible we talked extensively on the preview about the fact that Carolina gets to the free throw line. Like I spent a good 5 minutes talking about how great they are at drawing free throws. They couldn't get to the line against Duke. Do you know how many free throws they shot in the second half? 0. They didn't take a single free throw in the second half.
And
That's
the funny
insane.
And the funny thing was, Jason, towards the end of the game, we were able to foul them 3 times without sending them to the line and make it and just draw more time off the clock.
And how good was Duke's defense to give Carolina all the space that Carolina could use to fumble the ball around, and then just hang back and wait for the bad scoring to happen. The problem, the challenge with UNC, as you were saying, Jason, is that they force you to play up close, and Duke didn't fall for much of that today.
Yeah, I thought the defense was outstanding. And by the way, I mean, it's easy to talk about Lively there, and I will probably spend a half hour on him when we get to the full game recap, because he was that great.
Wait, hold on. Who did Donald just see?
No. We're on main quad, and the bonfire has begun, ladies and gentlemen. The bonfire is starting.
Donald, we need like one live interview with like one real Cameron Crazy. Just
one real Cameron.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
All right. Hang on one second.
Go find someone.
What's the point of recording this right now and having him on here where his audio is going in and out if we're not getting live interviews from from outside?
Hang on. We got to find someone who looked like they were at the game. Hang on one second.
Right. Well, while he's doing that, the other thing I wanted to point out.
Were you guys at the game tonight? Okay. I'm live on a podcast, Duke Basketball Report. Would you mind one of you just answering a quick question for our audience? Great. First, okay, Jason, Sam, here we go. First of all, sir, what is your name?
Dave Grimm.
All right. And are you local, or did you travel here for the game?
We traveled from Washington, D.C.
Same here.
Yeah.
Same here. Shout out Washington, D.C.
Are they on the bus together going back?
No, we're not on the bus. But how did you enjoy the game? Just give me quick thoughts about what you saw inside.
I graduated in 92. We took Carolina down in my last home game. Got to bring my kids back. My first game in Cameron against Carolina since then. It was pretty unbelievable.
That's amazing. Yo, guys, graduated in 92. First game back here for Duke UNC since that day. And Jason, we know what 92 was about. It was a national championship year. Hey,
amen, brother.
Thanks a lot. Hope you guys enjoy the game. Thank you. So that's what we got, Jason. Sam, we are here. We're at the bonfire. I gotta go. All right. I know we're doing this little quick thing, but I gotta go. It's party time.
Yo, you go enjoy that bonfire, Donald, and we'll hear more about it tomorrow. I love it, buddy.
Yes, sir.
So, Sam, I was going to quickly say one of the things that I loved about this game, about the end of this game, was Duke had big possessions, and we had Jeremy Roach taking the shots for us, and Carolina had big possessions, and they had Leaky Black and Pete Nance taking the shot. I don't think the Carolina plan was, let's make sure we get Leaky Black a corner 3. That's how we're going to win the game at the very end.
For all of
credit to Jon Scheyer. Credit to Jon Scheyer. Great job under pressure.
For all of UNC's experienced scorers or supposed scorers who are on this team, none of them seem to be able to find the ball with any space. I mean, it was, like you said, an incredible effort by Duke to get the ball into all the wrong hands. I thought, Baycott racked up numbers tonight, but he wasn't.
No, but he didn't dominate. He didn't dominate the way you expect him to. Yeah,
not at all. So so much. We have to talk extensively tomorrow about the effort that Duke's big men put in on this one, and it felt like we said it 100 times already, but it really felt like the game where Derek Lively all of a sudden plays at ACC speed. Yeah,
everyone who's been like, that guy's not a first round draft pick. How is that guy the number 1 recruit in the class? You saw it tonight. You definitely saw it.
Jason, he almost had a double-double the hard way.
Yeah, exactly. I said to some friends of mine on a text chain, I said, this is what Dennis Rodman used to do. Doesn't score any points for you, a couple little putbacks or whatever, but just totally dominates on defense and grabs all the rebounds. a phenomenal effort from Derek Lively. I wonder, and just marinate on this until we talk tomorrow. Did we see Duke transitioning into a completely new team tonight? Because they were pushing the ball up the floor, looking for fast breaks more than they have the entire season. And we saw the emergence of Derek Lively as a rim protector extraordinaire.
You know, there's also something to be said about Tyrese Proctor starting to find his way on this team. And Jason, I think that Proctor's emergence as, you know, a pretty good defensive rebounder and a guy who can push the ball up without getting into too much trouble, that's what made it feel like Duke was playing in a different pace today.
I love it. All right, we're going to have a full recap of this game tomorrow when Donald has recovered. Maybe he'll get us a little more color of what's going on.
I was going to say,
I
hope there are more interviews coming. I liked that.
Yeah.
Bring what was his name? David Graham, I think. Bring him back.
That's going to wrap it up for us on a quick abbreviated Go to Hell, Carolina, Go to Hell episode of the DBR Podcast. For Donald Wine by the Bonfire, for Sam Klein in Boston, I'm Jason Evans in Atlanta. Go to Hell, Carolina, Go to Hell.
Did you see that the Duke men's basketball Twitter account tweeted DDMF at the end of the game?
I love it.
I didn't know. I didn't know that Duke MBB played blue like that.
I love that. That's awesome.